So Sony have just released a new updated firmware for the FX3 and FX30 in their cinema line range of cameras. It welcomes some really nice updates to the camera, which we are going to talk about, but also I feel personally Sony have missed the mark with this update, missing out on some updates that many of their users are screaming out for on these cameras. I'm not going to take you through the whole process of updating your camera, as there are tons of videos on YouTube that people have put out already, but I want to talk about what we have new and what we don't. But first, what's new? Well, the first one is 4K DCI, which is 4096 by 2160, which is utilizing the full readout on the 4K sensor, which is great if you are shooting on something like the FX6 that already offers this feature. So now when you are shooting on both of these cameras, you will get the same readout and size back in post editing. This is a great thing for me, as I shoot mainly DCI 4K on my FX6 for client work, as it gives me a little bit more wiggle room in post production. But for my YouTube stuff, I'm just shooting on the standard 4K anyway. But just to note that this is only available in the XAVC SI codec, which is the uncompressed and super heavy data usage. So that's something like 250 megabits per second. So this is going to chew through your storage really quick if you are using it. Now the next big update for me is the Anamorphic De-squeeze, which is offering 1.3 and 2 times. So if you were shooting with anamorphic lenses, you will now get a wide aspect ratio on your display. But big issue with this is it takes away IBIS on the camera, so you're not going to have any in-body stabilization. So you're going to get those micro jitters if you have an unsteady hand. We also don't get a 1.6 or 1.8, but hey, Sony loves to keep us on the wire. One little update I do love is the ability to change the renaming of the camera. So now you can set up a camera ID, real number, and the position of the camera. So if you were shooting with multiple cameras or in a bigger crew, it's a lot easier in post-production to know which camera you are looking at, and it just makes the whole thing of using multiple cameras a lot easier. Also, we have been welcomed to the world of focus breathing compensation, which is seen in a few other Sony cameras but has now been welcomed to the FX3 and the FX30. I'm not somebody who massively uses this feature, as I use a lot of vintage lenses which don't work with this, and the Sony lenses that I do have that work with this, I don't use it anyway because it does crop into the footage a little bit, and it's just something that I think is not really worth it. Also, we are seeing true 24 frames per second added to this camera. Not something I usually use, as I'm in the UK, so I'm shooting on 25 frames, but for you guys out in US, or if you like to shoot in 24 frames because you feel it's true cinema, then it's been added for you, but that's not a big deal for me. I'm loving the 25 frames. So those are all the major bits that have been added. I've probably missed some, so get in the comments and roast me down there. But I do love to complain, and there are a few features that I really feel are missing. There's a lot of other brands out there with their video spec cameras that are offering a lot more video specific features, and I feel like Sony should be adding these, especially to their cinema line cameras. So it's really annoying that Sony are holding back on these features. Let's chat more about this in the comments below, and let's talk about what you wanted to see in this update. Are you loving the update? I'd love to know. Let's chat. The things that I feel are missing: shutter angle for one, false colors, waveforms. I really wanted to see open gate. I'd really love to see multiple zebra options as well, and a better audio menu. Also, you A7S3 users didn't get an update. What do you think about that? I'd love to chat more about that in the comments below. Are you guys getting forgotten? But obviously, it's a good thing that we are getting some updates from Sony, and it can only mean that things are moving in the right direction. It's just a shame that we've missed out on a few really awesome updates that we could have had. But hopefully they are in the production and just around the corner. Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Get in the comments, let's chat more about this, and I'll see you on the next one.